Hey guys, Kyle the Death Knight of Anime here. Finally bringing you guys my review of One Piece episode 857. And if you're curious as to why this one is late and as to why the Attack on Titan one is also going to be late, but don't worry, I'm going to get the Attack on Titan one done tomorrow. But if you're curious as to why both Attack on Titan, the last Attack on Titan review, and this review are late, it's simply because I couldn't do them. Honestly, as you know, a while back I made a video saying I was going to be on vacation, and I thought I'd be able to get them done there too, along with the manga reviews. But the truth is that that pretty much the internet, that I had of where I was, it was shit. I'm just saying that outright. The internet I had was shit, so I couldn't even watch an episode, I couldn't even stream properly. So Crunchyroll Kiss Anime, basically watching anime in general, it was for the most part out of the question. So yeah, if you're wondering as to why this one's late, then there you go. That's pretty much the reasoning. But anyway, now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's get into the review itself. So, Katakuri's big secret that's revealed in this episode is that his devil fruit power is actually his devil fruit power is revealed to be pretty much on the same species as Luffy's. It is a pair type. So it's the same as Luffy's. It isn't a Logia type like we all, I guess, originally thought we was. I knew that ahead of time from reading the manga, but yeah, it isn't a Logia type. It's basically it's the same kind as Luffy. It's just on the same class as Luffy's, and how it works is that Katakuri has been using his future sight observation haki in order to morph his body in the correct way, and when an attack is about to hit, and that's how he basically predicts everyone's movements. And that's how he's been predicting Luffy's, and that's how he's basically been, I guess it's, in a way you could say it's an advanced form of dodging, I guess you could say. And what's really funny about this whole reveal, in terms of Katakuri's trick and how he basically fooled Luffy into thinking that his mochi fruit was a Logia type, is that this weakness, it also reveals a secondary weakness, believe it or not. It also reveals a second weakness as well, which is that it seems that Katakuri he pretty much can't use both at the same time. He can't use his observation haki, and he can't use his mochi fruit at the same time. So it's actually one of those little details that the anime, to me, I think did a little better at portraying, just through the simple means of giving Katakuri's eyes that pretty much glowing effect. Because from my recollection, I think the manga also did something like that of giving an indication as to when Katakuri had turned on and off his power. I think they did that in the manga too, but to my knowledge, I don't think it was always made 100% clear because Oda wanted to keep the mystery going. But in this case, in this case, in terms of the weakness, in terms of this whole secondary weakness of Katakuri not being able to use both at the same time, it's a little more noticeable here because the anime just kind of gave us a lot more hints and clues to go off of. So yeah, it's one of those things where I think I kind of prefer I guess the anime's way of handling that specific area of his weakness. Um, Now, one thing I think was really interesting in this episode is how, after remembering Brulee's words about never falling on his back, Katakuri basically forced himself upwards by hitting his head against the ground, and hit his head against the ground, and him being able to flip over onto his feet again. And to me, that shows that it's definitely a lot more than pride. It's definitely a lot more than pride that pretty much forces Katakuri in order to stand by that pretty much whole belief of never falling onto his back. I think from at least I think from the way it was from the way we can kind of interpret it honestly is that to Katakuri, he keeps up this appearance of being this unstoppable force that can never be knocked down for the simple purpose of protecting his family. And I think, and that's kind of it. Like, pretty much to Katakuri, even though he is an antagonist, I think at the core that this kind of proves that if not above everything else, pretty much the reason as to why he's doing what he's doing is to protect his family. It's nothing more than that. Like, that's kind of the weirdest. That's kind of the interesting thing about this too, is that in his desire to protect his family, but by pretty much by basically living by living by that creed of never falling on his back, it's it's actually it's actually interesting to it's very intriguing to see that in that sense, this particular fight is actually putting more pressure on Katakuri than Luffy, even when the former has the upper hand. Like, it's really it's insane to think, but Katakuri has the most pressure being put on him, and all because of the duty he feels he basically has to his family. So it's he has to his family in order to try and protect them. And yeah, he's at the end of the day, I guess you could say we could say that pretty much Katakuri is taking the concept of being a big brother and protecting his siblings to like the 10th fucking degree. It's nuts. And after about 11 minutes, but moving on, after about 11 minutes of Katakuri and Luffy fighting, we cut back to the cake being made, and while I'm not sure how things are gonna go pacing wise, after the cake itself is like complete and whatnot, and is being brought to Big Mom, I can say for sure that so far these moments that have focused on the cake being made have actually been a lot more bearable to sit through, at least compared to the manga. Because I remember that the manga it really kind of slugged. As much as I love Oda's writing, he definitely kind of slugged a lot. He definitely slugged quite. I think he slugged. It was quite a bit through basically these whole moments of the cake and whatnot. So yeah, and. So yeah, at least I can say that in the anime sense that they've definitely improved on this too. Although, having said that, it like what we've seen of the cake so far and how the pacing's been handled in that sense, it does give me hope for when we finally get to the parts where the story really does start to drag. But the thing is, like, with the cake being so close to made, once the pretty much cake is en route, once the cake is en route and everything story-wise, I think that's at the part where we're going to start seeing the most padding. Like, we're going to start seeing the most padding, and that's probably where the pacing is probably going to probably end up slowing down, I think, the most. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see, because honestly, I don't know what the One Piece anime has been doing right lately. I guess it's the director, I don't know, but lately the One Piece anime has been doing something right where the pacing, well, still probably not the greatest, it's definitely been an improvement from the past. So I'm interested to see as to how the anime is going to handle how the anime is going to handle these really the really slogfest moments that are to come in the future. And and the whole scene of Relate talking to Pudding was interesting because now things are on an interestingly even playing field now, as both sides are aware of the other's plans. However, the real clincher I think in all this will be if Sanji can get the info to pretty much everyone else, because with Oven on the scene, things just got even more complicated, and yeah, like it's really stacking things against Sanji right now for sure. Both Sanji and Luffy in a way. So yeah, one way or another, I think Sanji is gonna need to figure out definitely some kind of a way in order to get that info to everyone else. And if you guys were starting to feel sorry for Pound like I was in this episode, don't worry. It gets much worse for him. Like, trust me, of all the tragedies to happen, of all the tragic things to happen in this arc, Pound is in more ways in more ways than one going to suffer the most from this point on. But I mean, yeah, like again, it's kind of hard to say a lot more without giving anything away, but yeah, Pound, like, let's just say that his whole driving force of wanting to see Chiffon, that's, yeah, it's gonna make you cry. That's all I'm gonna say. It's going to make you cry. And what we got so far was just heartbreaking. I mean, for God's sakes, if I was in Pound's place, I'd probably be desperate too, and I'd fight tooth and nail in order to see my kids, but I wouldn't let anything stop me, especially not Big Mom, although she'd probably crush me, but still. But yeah, guys, that's my very late review of One Piece episode 857. I'm again sorry it's late. I'm gonna try and get back on a more even schedule after Saturday, but yeah, guys, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, AnyList, or Crunchyroll. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.